We're on to, well, the dark horse. Guys further down in our re-ranking that could jump up. And Elk, you made a really good point at the start of the show that these bigger name guys are all going for the gold medal, and winning silver or bronze won't really mean that much to them in the grand scheme of things. It's not like they get FedEx Cup points or more money for it. However, for one of these guys that's further down in the re-ranking, winning an Olympic medal is career defining.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, I asked everyone before the show who was second and third in the medals in last Olympics, and everyone stumbled right out of the gate. We finish up with Henrik Stenson and Matt Kuchar. It depends who wins them. If a sort of maybe a dark horse we're going to talk about next jumps in, that would be a big story. A Slovakian maybe, Jay, or some of these other smaller countries could have a player that emerges at the end, and that's what this segment's about.
Yeah, I think when we talked about the dark horse, we did talk about which country are we talking about. I mean, if you're from a country that I can't even figure your 3-letter code out, you're probably excited about playing in the Olympics. If you're USA or if you're Australia, maybe it just feels like another event. But it's going to be interesting to see because, Elk, as we got our chart spit out this week, page 2 was like trying to read Swahili for me. I looked at some of these names and some of these countries, and I have no idea who some of these cats are. So as soon as this show is over, I'm going to go back and really study some of these guys just so I can get familiar with the field. But it'll be interesting to see who can come from down in the pack.
Okay, Elk, I don't think we're looking too far down the pack for yours, but let's go with it, give it to us, and we can tear it apart.
Well, this is a very top-heavy field, of course, this week, Diane, being that all the top players that we know of are up top. But picture this, okay? Work with me here. If there's not a big storm that comes in Sunday, let's say we're going to have good weather, no typhoon, we've got all the guys at the top. Morikawa's up there, Matsuyama, Justin Thomas, Hovland, they're all at the top of the field. But wait, here comes in the pack, like Ledecky last night, who had the lead, Titmus, our 200-meter freestyle swimming girl, tracked her down at the end, and here comes Cam Smith. Takes his hat off with a couple holes left. He's got the Oz cut into the side of his head, and he's going to blitz through the field on the back 9 with the number 1 putter and just take over the Olympic golf. Go Aussie!
I don't know whether to be offended or flattered that you have picked my bronze medalist, i.e. the top, and you're making him a dark horse. There's no way that he is a dark horse.
Late runner. He's a late runner. He's coming in late.
Jay, I know Jay agrees with me.
Diane, I think you know what our criteria is for a dark horse. It's usually Vegas making that line, and we've gone with 100-1 or higher odds for that. And Elk has gone with a player who is currently 22-1, which means Vegas thinks Vegas will back Elk's story. Cam Smith can definitely win it. Nobody would be surprised if he won it. He's already performed and won on the world's greatest tour. So, Elk, I want to totally agree with everything you've said, but I just think you have him in the wrong category. He's definitely not a dark horse. I would put him in the top 15 of guys who have a chance to win this event for sure.
I have nothing more to say.
That's a typical Aussie pick, I would tell you. Just foregoing the criteria.
What's your dark horse then? You going with the Swahili?
My dark horse, I'm going with another Scandinavian player to match my Victor Hovland pick, his next door neighbor. I really like this player. His last outing, he finished with a T5 at Barbasol, which is a completely different climate and part of the world, so I'm not comparing the two. But he did perform, and he's a guy that's got good numbers across our board on our chart, with the exception of driving distance. I think he's going to overcome that and make a few putts this week. And I think we're all going to be, I'm not going to be surprised if we're all celebrating with a big helping of Swedish meatballs this week. So my dark horse pick is Henrik Norlander.
Okay. I was so big on Henrik Norlander for so long on our regular show following the PGA Tour. And he started to let me down, so I just had to jump off that bandwagon. But
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
He's a very solid ball striker, so just has to keep it here and not out here.
All right, Diane.
I'm just holding my breath to see where you go on this pick.
All right then. Well, here we go. My dark horse pick is actually only 60-1, Jay. I'm just fessing up right now, but when you look at the odds, there's actually not too many well-known guys that are super high odds this week. So my guy went to University of Illinois. He's from Belgium. So I'm thinking it's a plus point that he's very well traveled. You know, he like paid his dues on the Challenge Tour, the feeder tour to the European Tour. He plays European Tour most of the time, but with his fantastic world golf ranking, he has been playing in a lot of the WGCs and the majors. So he's been kind of here, there and everywhere. Played great at the Scottish Open. See a little bit of a heart pick here, and ended up finishing runner-up. In 2018, he represented his country at the World Cup of Golf alongside Thomas Pieters, and they won. So he has that Belgian pride, and I think that he's with Thomas Pieters this week. You know, obviously this is a solo event, but I think that Thomas Detry could get it rolling, and at 60-1 could sneak up there into the medals.
I think you're confusing the medals this week with frequent flyer miles, I think, was what he's the winner of, I think, by the way you said all that. But yeah. I still stand by my dark horse, Cam Smith. I don't think he's going to hold pace in the beginning of the week, but I'm dark horse coming in from over and the back.
I think the only medal that Mr. Detry's going to win is made of Belgian chocolate. That's what he's going to walk away with as a parting gift.
I didn't want that. I mean, really.
You know, Diane, you have fallen into this trend of taking these European golfers as your dark horse pick, and a lot of times they're pretty good picks. They perform for you. So
Diane's banking on his second place finish in the Scottish Open 2 years ago as her current form.
Oh, listen, if Hank Levioda was in the field, you'd know I'd be picking him.